All right, let's get started. Again, thank you, parents, for joining us tonight. We're so glad to be able to see you, to be in front of you, to share information with you. In Mr. Anderson's absence is the assistant principal of Chandler Park Academy Elementary School, Miss Erica Taylor, who is, I'm going to pass it to her to get started. But actually, there we go. There she goes. Thank you, Ms. Taylor, for joining us tonight. And Mr. Anderson's absence. And can you please give us the elementary updates, please? You're on mute.
Yes. Good afternoon, parents. We have a few updates for the elementary school. Tomorrow, we will be having our coat drive where the students whose parents have filled out the form will receive their coats from the school counselor. So they will be coming home tomorrow with their coats. I'm sure Mr. Anderson said before in the meeting about we were donated about 700 coats from Detroit Axle Company. So we're excited about that. They'll be receiving hats, gloves, and coats. Also, don't forget on January 27th, we will be having our 5th grade literacy meeting. So if there are any 5th grade parents on here, please join us on January 27th for our literacy meeting. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Ms. Taylor, if parents didn't get an opportunity to fill out that form for the coat giveaway, is there still opportunity to be able to do so if we have something left over after tomorrow?
Yes, definitely. If we have some left over, if you're interested in a coat, please email me and then I can email you the link. I guess, how would I get them my email address? Can you put it in the chat?
Put it in the chat, Ms. Taylor. Just put it in the chat.
Okay.
So parents, if you do not get a chance to fill out the form for elementary only to fill out for the coat giveaway, we have tons of coats, over 700 coats. So please make sure that you reach out to Ms. Taylor and get the proper paperwork to be able to participate in the coat drive that starts tomorrow. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Dr. Richard, the middle school assistant principal, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, and good evening to everyone, all the parents, all the staff who have joined this call. We appreciate you joining. I have a few updates for the middle school, not many. We want to make sure that you all know that the mentorship programs are in full-fledged. They're up and running. The Lady Butterflies and the Gentlemen's Club actually went on a field study to see King Richard, starring Will Smith, and I got rave reviews from those who attended, and they gained something from it. So that was a great event for them to participate in. Also, we have our on support programs that include Detroit Cares. They come up to the school on a weekly basis to provide support to some of our students who have shown that they have a few more challenges this year than others. So we want to make sure that we provide that support for them, that network, to make sure that they're successful, not only academically, but social and emotionally as well. Also, we have STEM experiences that we've shared with our 8th graders. Many 8th graders, actually all the 8th grade classes that are on site, had an opportunity to participate in some STEM experiences with the University of Michigan, Dearborn, in collaboration with Wayne County Community College. We had some professors come up and demonstrate some of the engaging activities that STEM provides. And I'm sure that many of the students got something from that and may want to start some careers in there. So we also, speaking of careers, we had a career expo from the University of Michigan as well for our 8th grade students to get them focused and excited about how school connects to their future selves in terms of what they may want to do with their education. And last but not least, we did finally have the staff versus students basketball game. And I must say that the staff represented very well. We beat the students, we doubled their score and showed them exactly well, I can't speak too much about that, but we enjoyed the experience. And a lot of students really did get something from it. I got some emails from teachers and some students who felt like they had a sense of belonging That's what we're actually searching for, but what we're trying to achieve every year, but this year especially. And a lot of students really want to participate. And one last thing I guess I could say, based on that staff versus students game, I was so excited after the game that I basically had my shorts on and a t-shirt, and I wanted to walk the students outside, not only to make sure that they were safe, but also to gloat a little bit. So I walked outside, and on my way out, a teacher said, "Doc, you're gonna catch a cold, man. You better watch out." So I said, "You know what? I got all break to be sick." So I walked outside anyway, thinking I'm Superman. And when I got back, guess what? I was sick all break. It wasn't worth it. The reason I say that is because a lot of people are coming down with the virus right now because of poor decisions. A lot of people are taking it for granted, and that's not just us, it's everywhere. So one split decision can make all the difference. And that's the only reason I say that. So thank you once again for joining us, and thank you for rolling with us with all these changes and being flexible as we navigate this school year.
Thank you, Superman. Yes, parents, lesson learned. Do not go outside in December in your shorts. Okay. Education 101. Mr. Erickson, who's moving around a little bit, high school principal, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Since our last parent meeting, we have had a bunch of things happening here at the high school. Our marching band is back out full-fledged. We went to the Veterans Day Parade in Grosse Pointe, as well as the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Our JROTC is also back out doing parades, as well as a Veterans Day ceremony. We had our annual Alumni Day, where we had over 20 alumni virtually and in person come speak to our students from the trades, from the service, from colleges and universities, and from the workforce. That was an excellent experience for them. And our Gentlemen's Club and Lady Butterflies are also back out in the community at Cass Community Center doing some community service. So a lot of great things that happened since our last PPN meeting, and looking forward on the 25th, this coming Tuesday, we do have our final girls varsity basketball game. That will be senior night for our young ladies, for our seniors. So please come out and support. That same night, the same time, we actually also have a parent meeting. So if you don't make it out, we do have our counselors leading a brief meeting on helping your child through stress and anxiety, which is a very fitting topic because we are rounding out the semester and we are heading into finals on February 3rd and 4th. I do want to bring that up because attendance is so important, and Ms. Singleton will touch on this as well, I'm sure, from now up until finals. Being here every day, getting ready, that is 20% of your grade, and it can really raise you up. 1, 2 letter grades are down, 1, 2 letter grades possibly. So it's just so important to be here to get that review and to get yourself prepared. We're down to about 2.5 weeks. Again, February 3rd and 4th. We want everyone to finish the semester strong. Thank you, parents.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. That leads me to a question for Dr. Richard. Doc, when is the middle school final exam? Do you have the dates in front of you? I hate to put you on the spot.
No, they are the final exams for the middle school are the 2nd and the 3rd. So on the 2nd, they're going to take ELA and math. And the 3rd is going to be social studies, science, and electives.
Thank you. Great. For those parents who are elementary, the elementary and middle school boys basketball program is starting up at the end of the month, as well as middle school volleyball. They've already had tryouts and information to the home to those parents, but look forward to the elementary and middle school boys basketball, as well as middle school girls volleyball, starting up at the end of Adrian, at the end of January, beginning of February. The next presenter was our special presenter for the night is Ms. Don Singleton, who is our district accountability and compliance person. But the main thing she talked about tonight is our district attendance and how important it is, parents, for students to, whether they be virtual or whether they be in seat, that is therefore that we must have kids show up to school every day to make sure they're counted. So I won't steal her thunder because I can go on forever for days talking about not adding days until the end of the school year, which is a great possibility to happen. if we don't have a certain number of students attending every day inside class. So no further ado, Ms. Singleton, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, and thank you, parents, for just hearing me out on the attendance. The district as a whole has the same attendance policies in all 3 buildings. 5 absences, 3 absences, you should be receiving a call from your building attendance officer, which in the middle school is Miss Clay, in the elementary school is Miss Belton, and I am the attendance person here at the high school. After the 5th attendance, we try to work with you if you haven't called and let us know if something is going on. We try to work with you to see what's going on so we don't have to put the student on attendance probation. But after the 5th absence consecutive, we go to attendance probation. So, and we do it for a semester, or I'm sorry, for a quarter. So students who are struggling this quarter for attendance, and it's not due to COVID. Those things we understand. We have family emergencies. We have COVID that's out here. So those things we do take into accountability. But a student that's just consecutively absent, we have to have the student has to be accountable for attending school regularly, because studies have shown students who don't attend school regularly, they fall behind in grades, and they more likely to be retained. So we want to make sure that they attend school regularly. If you have any issues, again, you're going to contact your building attendance officer. And these are the excuses that we take, and this is excused and lawful. These are handed to us by the Michigan Department of Education: sickness, doctor's appointment, religious holidays, and extreme family emergencies. Traffic, staying at home to babysit, too tired, traveling, weather, those things are not considered lawful excuses. So just keep in mind of that. The other thing is, if we as a district do not make 75% of all of our students attending school regularly, each day I have to run a report to see if we've all met that quota. If we have not, there's extreme possibility, as Mr. Williams alluded to, a day will be added on to the end of the school year. So each day that they don't attend, we don't hear from them, we don't have excuses, that actually counts against us. So we actually will end up putting a day on the end of the calendar year in June. Or we can come up like really creative and kind of shorten breaks, but that wouldn't be fair to our teachers that's here all the time. So we want to make sure that your kids are attending school regularly. If you have any problems, you call your attendance officer. COVID, remember that we do understand COVID and extreme family emergencies. Those ones, we have alternate ways of learning. When the student is in quarantine, the high school has a way of, you log in virtually for your electives, and for your 4 core classes, the student would go to the teacher's Google Classroom, grab the assignments, and complete an attendance form. It's a Google form that they complete, that they went to the Google Classroom, picked up the assignment, and it comes directly to me, and then I will mark them present virtually. Those are for our quarantine students. I believe the middle school has classes open. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, that if a student's on quarantine, they can log into their teacher virtually. And then the elementary has Dojo and other ways of getting the attendance. So there is ways to attend school even though you're on quarantine. Of course, if the student is not feeling well, they should not be attending class. And that way, when that happens, you just let the attendance officer know, and then they'll be marked quarantine absence excuse. I am hopeful and grateful that you've heard my plea to you to make sure that the kids attend school so we don't have to add on any school days at the end of the calendar year. And that if you have any questions, I can be reached at area code 313-499-3042, or you can email me at Singleton D as in Dawn at ChandlerParkAcademy.net. Thank you.
Ms. Singleton, there's a question for you in the chat. I'm gonna let Nurse Mills get started, and then we'll come back to you to answer. You get a chance to answer that question. Also, if you could put your contact information in the chat, Ms. Singleton, so parents can have it. And then we'll go back through all the questions at the end and answer them. Ms. Singleton, should a parent call in if my child's gonna be absent? Should I call the attendance officer to inform them that my child will be absent that day, or do they send a note when they can return, or should that, you're on mute, Singleton.
Okay, so it could go either way. We like documentation. Documentation works. So if you can send in the note the day that they return to school and make sure that it gets to the attendance officer, that's perfect. But if you call in that day and say you have a doctor's appointment or whatever, and the attendance officer says, okay, no problem, they'll absence excuse them, but they'll ask for that documentation, just in case that our attendance is audited, because we do get audited for attendance. So if it's audited, that we have the documentation that backs up the parent excusing the absence.
Gotcha, thank you. So if parents, if you got any more questions, Ms. Singleton, please put them in the chat and we'll come back after Nurse Mills. Actually, Ms. Taylor, that's probably a question for you, because I'm pretty sure it's elementary school. No other school is honoring perfect attendance. We should be doing it in all 3 schools, but I'm pretty sure it's an elementary question. So Ms. Taylor, at the end, when we come back, you can address Ms. Barnes to get a little clarification on her question, okay? Nurse Mills, are you ready? Nurse Mills, you down there? You ready? There we go. We still can't see you.
I think there's another question in the chat about whether or not we have an extended school year already.
Right, you want to answer that, Doc? While Nurse Mills get together.
I don't believe so. Ms. Singleton, you want to answer that one?
I was actually looking at that. So yes, I'm answering the questions in the chat right now. I'll answer that question.
Nurse Mills, can you see and hear us? Ms. Taylor, go ahead and answer the question about the elementary. I'm gonna call you, call Nurse Mills. She'll call you right now.
Okay. Well, Ms. Barnes, the Perfect Attendance Awards is simply that, for perfect attendance, regardless if it's excused or unexcused absences. We just want to recognize the students that have been in school every day. You know that there are monthly rewards or certificates that we give the students. So each month, the student is recognized for being in school every single day. But we just decided, because there are different reasons and different, excuses why students are out, but we just wanted to recognize the students that attended school and was there in the building or virtually every day.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Nurse Mills is actually gonna come down to my office. She's having computer difficulty, so she got about a 2 to 3 minute walk. So parents, please bear with us. She's gonna share some very vital, important information. Let's see when they got done faster than I expected her to get done. She's usually talk all day long, but today she was kind of short. But let's see, anything else you want to talk about with the attendance process when it comes to you hit on it real quickly about what's excused and what's not excused. What number of days missed is overall chronic absenteeism?
Okay, chronic absenteeism is 17 days. You only really can miss 17 days for a whole school year before you're considered have an attendance issue. So we'd like to get it, like, that's why we start at 3, 5, and then 10. And then we get to a point where we actually, when we get to the 10, we're actually to do 2 things, is to either drop the student or refer them to the Wayne County truancy office. We don't like to do those things. We like to try to get ahead of the problem. So if you're having transportation issues, if you're having stuff, contact us so we can get you to the right person. You could either go to, maybe you can talk to our social worker, or maybe we can pair you up with a parent that may be coming your way. It's different things that we can do to assist you, and we just don't want it to get too out of control where, you know, we have to do either 1 or 2 things: drop you from enrollment or refer you to the Wayne County Truancy Office.
And it seems, and that 17, if I recall correctly,
It's for the whole year.
And that's excused or unexcused. It don't matter. If it's
It
excused,
does not matter.
it still adds up towards your number.
Excused. Correct.
According to Wayne County.
According to Wayne County. That is absence. It's either absent or absence excused. So we try to, as much as possible, have the kids be in class, in school, or if they have to, like, is when they're in quarantine, it's not, and they're not ill, it's not, you should not be not doing anything. You should be coming to school, because we have avenues in which the kids can attend school: elementary, high school, and middle school.
Right, and our parents, if your child has been with contact tracing and they've been around a student that's been, they've been exposed to a student who may have tested positive COVID, on that day you would receive a phone call and then also information about how your child can log into their Zoom classes on that same day. So they should not miss any school. They should be ready to go that next morning.
The very next day.
Well, the very next day, ready to go. So again, no educational days should be missed in this process. We're ready to just click you right on over to our virtual process and keep things rolling until you're able to come back. All right, Nurse Mills has made it down. Let her sit in my seat.
Oh, okay.
And let me know you want to share the screen. I'll share it.
Okay. Hello, parents. I'm Nurse Mills, the district nurse. I just want to get on tonight because there's a lot of information that's being given out in the media. In the media, and also on from the health department. First of all, I want to start it out by saying what you hear on TV is different than what is mandated for K through 12 schools. There are some, and they have the sharing the screen with you right now. I just want to touch on page 2.
Let me do that right now.
Just a second. Page 2.
Okay. They see that right there.
Okay, that's the first page. I need to see.
Page 2.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just want to cover a couple of things on page 2 and page.
Up or down?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Just as an overview, it's letting us know, first of all, any of the exposures or the positive cases, it depends upon if they're in school, not at home. Exposures at home are treated differently than those in school. If you can look at what the screen that we're sharing with you now, it says that a student, staff, or teacher who tests positive, regardless of their vaccination status, they have to isolate. It doesn't matter if you're fully vaccinated or you're unvaccinated, or if you have 1 shot or 2 shots or the booster, you still have to isolate. That's the one point I want to make sure that you do understand. The difference is once we get our testing program up, it will go from 14 days to 10 days, because we will have the ability to test our staff and our students at our center before they enter the building. So that's something that's going to be different, that will enable us to cut our quarantine days down for someone that is positive for COVID. Can you go to page 4, please? Yes, okay. Now, if you look at this page, what I'm sharing with you now, It tells you the different quarantine guidance that they have. So if you're up to date with your vaccination, and this is an exposure only, not if you test positive. Say your son or daughter is in the lunchroom and someone there tests positive, that's an exposure, okay? If they're fully vaccinated, okay, it doesn't have to include a booster now, but right now, if they had their shots, 2 shots, and it's 14 days after their last shot, they're considered fully vaccinated. And if they don't have any symptoms, they don't need to quarantine, okay? But we have to monitor them for 10 days and they have to wear a mask. On the flip side to that, if they're not vaccinated, they still have to quarantine for 5 days. After the 5th days, they can come in and be tested on day 5, day 7, and day 9 to return to school and to stay in school. So all these new changes are contingent upon us having our testing program up and running. And if you have any questions or concerns, the testing program, you will be getting a survey to see how many of you parents would like to have your children tested here at Chandler Park Academy. Please answer the survey. It will be very important and really helpful for you if you do allow your child to be tested here. You don't have to run around finding COVID tests. You don't have to stand in line for 2.5 hours or 3 hours to get tested at a health department. It can be done right here. But we need you to answer the survey, give us permission to test your children, and our testing program can get up and running, and we can protect our children more by knowing if they're positive or not. And when we identify someone that is positive, they will be sent straight home. Now, if you have any questions for me, you can send the questions to my email address, which is millsd, MILLSD, at chandlerparkacademy.net. And you can send the questions to me anytime to my email and I will answer them. Unless you have some that you would like for me to answer right now. Okay.
Over here, they're glad we tested. Okay. Parents, if you have any questions for Nurse Mills, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Again, we will be sending out a survey tomorrow to parents to see who will consent to allow their students to be tested like once a week, Nurse Mills. A routine check of once a week for testing. Again, we're just trying to do the best we can do to help keep our kids safe. So parents, if you have any questions.
No, testing is not mandatory, it is volunteered. But if your child has an exposure, they have to have a negative test to come back to school. So it would be better for them to come here and we can test them and get them right into the classroom, in opposed that you're going somewhere to get them tested. And they just put my email address in the chat, so you can email any other questions for me that you have if you don't have any more right now. But I'm here to answer any questions you have right now. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening. And again, I'm here Monday through Friday. You can email me with questions. And if your child is exposed or test positive, you will hear my beautiful voice on the phone contacting you to give you the information and to get information from you. And I want to say thank you to all the parents that notified us that your child had an exposure or your child had an exposure or test positive for COVID. And answer that question, yes, they can test at their doctor's office instead of school. And we will accept those tests. We accept the tests. Okay, so thank you so very much again. And I look forward to getting 100% back saying that your child wanted to be tested here at Chandler Park. Thank you.
Thank you.
There was one parent who asked for Ms. Singleton to put her information in the chat. She put it in the chat. It's there. If you scroll up a little bit, it's right there. She has her phone number and email address.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
You're welcome.
I think that's the only questions we got with our answer, I believe. So again, parents, we worked very hard And we finally was able to find a partner that would partner with the school to provide testing for students. It is 100% voluntary. But we asked parents to support us in this this mission to hopefully be able to curb the number of students that need to be isolated due to COVID contact, and also for us to be able to respond quicker and would know exactly what's going on with each student. But more importantly, you as a parent, it's a service to you that you won't have to go out. And again, you know, it's very hard to get tested these days, and they got lines of 2-3 hours, and even harder to get in your doctor's office. But this is a routine test they can take care of after school that will not require the parent to do anything as far as traveling anywhere, going anywhere, getting in lines. They will just be, you know, once a week, pull out of class and be tested and sent back to class. So this is a phenomenal service to parents where you don't have to do anything extra just to make sure your child is safe. And the more we can all get behind this, the more we can try to limit the spread of the virus, which we know is running rampant throughout the country, let alone the schools. So please, that survey will come out tomorrow. Just think about it and hopefully join in, and let's try to do the best we can to try to get this done. Is there an email address we can email vaccination cards to? And that definitely be a question for Nurse Mills, who's going back to her office right now. Ms. Sims, do you know anything about the vaccination cards? Oh, wait,
Yes,
actually,
they should turn them. They should turn all the vaccination cards into the main office. If you want to, I can put the office manager's email addresses for all 3 buildings, and that's who should receive the vaccination cards.
Right. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. You could do that. I appreciate it, Ms. Because yeah, one of the first things we do is we pull the list of kids who've been vaccinated as well as the staff before we start going through our process of who needs to go and who has to quarantine. The first thing we do is put that data to see who has been vaccinated, who has been boosted, whether it be staff or students. So yes, parents, if you have that information, please submit that to the school. That helps in our decision-making process on how we move and what we need to do with for the students. Is there any more questions for any of the principals, Ms. Singleton, about attendance, or Nurse Mills about the COVID testing or the process or vaccination cards? Is there any more questions? All right, once again, parents, thank you so much for coming. You can always reach out to us. Yes, I got you. Yes. So parents, everybody who attended tonight, students will get the extra credit. I have to make sure that they've been getting extra credit for the other months too. But don't worry, I'll be following up with, I've been doing a little bit of double duty, but I'll be following up with the principals to make sure the teachers are giving those kids whose parents who attended the meeting the extra credit. So yes, parents, I got your name. Once I get your name, I can easily track down who your student is, and we'll make sure we get them taken care of. If you are an elementary student, be looking forward to the literacy meeting next week, Tuesday, Taylor?
Thursday,
Next
or January
Thursday.
27th.
And then also, if you're a high school parent, Ms. Richardson, be looking forward to the high school parent meeting dealing with how to help students cope with stress at this time. Ms. Barnes, let me see, are those posted on Instagram was elementary? That's what's for you, Taylor.
Okay, so it says, can we make copies of the cards instead of sending the original cards?
Yes. Yes.
I believe the office is going to make copies anyway. Or you're saying just kind of scanning it and emailing it to those people?
Yes, you can do that.
Definitely.
Ms. Barnes,
are those
question. Ms. Barnes, you lost me. I'm trying to figure out what posted on Instagram as well as for elementary.
She just said it, the elementary school literacy meeting. I'm not sure who runs the Instagram. Is that 20? I don't know.
Yes. That's Facebook and Instagram 2050.
Oh, okay. And that's how she found out about this meeting. That's good. Yes.
Our social media platforms are Facebook and Instagram. As well as parents, you should get some from the school, either through your text message or email, talking about the meeting tonight. So if you did not get that email or text message to your phone from the school today, please call the office. That means that we have the wrong email address or something going with the phone, because it should have been on social media, as well as it should have went out to your robotext as well as the email. Singleton, Ms. Richardson asked you a question.
Yeah, I think it is.
Say
Ms.
that
Richardson
again.
just said, Ms. Singleton, you have to resend out what you sent, because you don't have it to everyone. So when you send your chat out,
Gotcha.
sorry, parents.
That's okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. We working with her every day. We try to get her better every day. Thank you for catching that for us. So as Ms. Singleton very quickly redoes that, anybody else have any questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions before we wrap up tonight's meeting? There was a high school, well, that game was away. There was a high school basketball game, girls game, boys game scheduled for Friday, but that game has been canceled. So if you're a high school parent that has a boys on the basketball team, that game has been canceled and maybe will be rescheduled, but there's no game as of Friday. And once Ms. Singleton sends this email, we're gonna go ahead and end the meeting. That way you guys will have it in the chat and everybody can get it. Gotta love that shirt, Doc. Gotta love that nice color shirt you got there.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Compliments of the district.
Oh, okay, good.
Summer and winter.
Any better than that.
Yes, sir.
You know, you can email me and I will give you the email address to the other office managers in lieu of time, because it's going to take me a minute. I'm working on my cell phone and not a computer. So it's going to take me a little minute I'm not like the kids. I can't text that fast with the phone situation. But if you give me a call or an email, and tell me what school that your student attends, I can send you the for the high school, you can actually scan the quarantine, the vaccination card to me, and I'll make sure that Ms. Taylor Perry gets it. Or I can give it out to you now, and if you need it, I can just say their email addresses if you like. So I'll do that first. For the elementary, it is Miss Murphy, and her email address is murphyt, at chandlerparkacademy.net. Miss at the middle school, it is Turner P, TURNER, P as in Paul, at chandlerparkacademy.net. And here at the high school is Taylor, TAYLOR, Perry, PERRYS, as in Sam, at chandlerparkacademy.net. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Singleton. Thank you. Again, parents, thank you for coming. And if you have any questions, any concerns, suggestions, comments, ideas, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm Mr. Williams, the District Parent and Community Liaison. I look forward to seeing you at the next week's elementary meeting as well as the high school meeting. Give me an email at williamsk@chandlerparkacademy.net. If you need any support, any help with anything, williamsk@chandlerparkacademy.net. Please encourage your students to finish out the second quarter or first semester strong, because we're winding it down. And the grades, like Mr. Erickson said earlier, your grades can either go up 2 grades or down 2 grades based upon these next 2 or 3 weeks. So parents, please encourage your kids to finish out strong. If there's any missing work out there, incomplete work, or anything they can do to finish, get the grades up, please make sure they reach out to their teachers to get their information and finish out strong and start off with a strong third quarter or a strong second semester. All right, thank you for joining us tonight. Look forward to seeing you in February. Thank you again, Dr. Rencher, Mr. Erickson, Ms. Taylor, Ms. Singleton, Nurse Mills, thank you for joining us tonight, and parents, we'll see you in February.